Hello and welcome back to the Studio Blogs SMP. My name is Weird and Bearded, and today we're going to be doing some project work. So I thought I'd show you I'm currently using these spaces kind of for shulker box storage because last week I did an ender raiding stream. So we've got a load of shulker boxes with a lot of gear here for just anybody to come and take what they need. Over here we just have a lot of empty shulker boxes for resource collection for an upcoming project because we are going back to building some farms. It's been a while. We need to get more farms going on the server before we can really do projects. So today I have everything I need, almost everything I need. For a golden bartering farm I do need a lot more magma. I've got about a third of what I need magma wise, but it's at least enough to get us started. So I'm actually going to be going live in about 20 minutes, and we're going to start building it up then. In the meantime, I'm going to go find the right spot to build it. Of course, this is going to be up on the nether roof. So I think we're just going to get on with it, get this thing built, and I will catch up with you afterwards, because then we're going to have to figure out how to get a lot of piglins in place. So that's the farm mostly done. So we've got a big sorting system here for everything that we're going to be getting from the piglins. We've got the gold farm pretty much ready to go. So you fly up, don't fly into the magma or the birch. This is going great. Fly right up to the top. We've got a little platform here that you can AFK at. Zombified piglins, as you can see, just pour down the middle chute. If they die, they're going to drop rotten flesh, they're going to drop gold nuggets. The rotten flesh gets sorted and sent into lava. Now, we are going to be building more spawning platforms. We've got 5 at the moment, but I've got room for up to 16. So you can see they land down there, and if I come down here, so that middle section is sorting out the rotten flesh, and then everything else just gets stored. So you could AFK there for a long time and store a ton of golden nuggets. And then down here, so I've not got this set up yet, but we've got a trapdoor with a load of droppers. When you flick the lever, the droppers will activate and you will start picking up the golden nuggets. And then with item tweaker, what you can do is save recipe. So if I just grab some, I have actually emptied this quite recently. So if I get the gold ingot recipe, hold a... Oh, I can't remember how to do this. But yeah, there's a way we can save recipes. I'll need to remind myself how. But then you can just press a button and it will craft everything in your inventory for that recipe. And then there's another button where you can throw everything that you have crafted. So everything from that recipe gets thrown down. So if you set them both to the same button, you craft everything and throw them down into the hoppers. And we can very easily turn all those golden nuggets into ingots. Now we move on to this bit, the actual bartering area, which may as well be right next to the gold farm. There's no real reason why not. You come up to the top. You kind of climb up the awkward staircase, which I'll probably make a little bit easier. We'll have some more slabs, so there's an actual staircase up here. I've obviously tried to make this as spawn-proof as I can. I think I've missed a few bits, but I'll get those fixed. You split your gold ingots evenly amongst the 4 chests, and then you go down, stand on the stone pressure plate. They get thrown down, and we will have a load of piglins here. They'll throw the items to you, and then those items just get pushed around the blue ice, and they will go into the hoppers. But you may have noticed there are no piglins there. That is the next job. And once we've done this, I have been thinking, there's still actually over a week before this episode comes out, and I've got a lot of farms to build, some of which are pretty easy to do. I might make this a bit of a farming megasode, but for now, I am going to build out a big platform over there, which is in a crimson forest, so then we'll have piglins and hoglins spawning. I can get the piglins to chase me. I'm going to use the gold that I've already collected, because obviously while I was building the spawning platforms, stuff was spawning, so I do have a few stacks of ingots. So I'm going to make 60 golden boots, and if they pick them up, I'll get them to chase me over. They'll get picked up by the minecart and dropped off in there, and then I can get rid of this section, and the gold farm will be ready to go. So I'm going to get on with that. The piglins are in place. The zombified piglins are just in a constant waterfall. I forgot to actually mention, you can see if I look straight down, there's a turtle egg down there, which is what's causing all of the mayhem. And I've been AFK here for just over half an hour, just to build up some golden nuggets so we can actually test everything out properly. So let's head down to the bottom. You can see them dying, and we can try everything out. Ow. So, once again, I need to set myself up, so let's grab some nuggets. And we don't get a really even distribution amongst the droppers. They're just there to help out. So, we do that, and then, if I... There we go, it's saved now. So then I believe I hold J. Perfect. So it's crafting it, and it's throwing it out of the inventory. The trapdoor is above me. So we're going to flick the lever, aim down, open up the crafting table, and yeah, we'll see how long this takes. So after about six minutes of crafting, you could tell things were starting to slow down. There were only a couple of droppers left, so I thought I'd stop there. Gosh, we got quite a lot. There was also a bit of rotten flesh. My thinking is, while I was building out the spawning floors, sometimes zombified pigmen would just get knocked off the sides rather than falling through the chute, because their floor wasn't complete yet. So it's not too surprising that there could be a bit of errant rotten flesh in the system. But for not too much AFKing, and only a third of the possible spawning floors, that is not a bad amount of gold. So now, I kind of want to split this up into 4 segments. Okay. So if I do that, then we've got roughly 4 equal sections. And this is why I said I had turned down hostile mob sounds, because we have 60 piglins there. And that's about the right amount to get through the amount of gold and the speed that it gets dropped. So then I split the gold evenly. Oh, I've got to do that column, then they go in there, and then all I've got to do is go and stand on the pressure plate, and this should work. There we go. So now, if I go into free cam mode, yeah, you see them getting pushed around the system. It's all going to get sorted. I'm going to wait until it is. I just want to see it. Make sure it is going all the way around. I haven't tested this yet. Oh, I thought I was missing some leaves there. It's just blended in well with the bedrock. Perfect. Oh, hello. We should probably slab that off. So yeah, I am going to wait for all the gold to get through, and that's this farm done. So, in the meantime, I'm going to think about what farm is next. Well, I figured I'm in the nether. Let's build another nether farm. Soon, we're going to get to the point where people are going to start doing sets. So there's going to be a lot of landscaping. There's going to be a lot of digging. We're going to want beacons. Let's build a wither skeleton farm. So I think I've got everything ready. I'm going to show you the basic idea of this. This is based off of a design, I believe, from Tango Tech. I think Impulse as well. But we dig in to here. We go 9 blocks either side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh dear. I can save this. And 9. And then we do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We also want to take out 1 block above, but want to make sure that we have no exposed air. So you can see here we're exposed to the nether, so let's just cover that up. Done. And then we want to replace the floor with nether bricks. Now, the way nether fortresses work and the way mob spawning on nether fortresses work is that the nether fortress has 2 bounding boxes. It's got a general bounding box and then 1 for each room. As long as you're within a room, it doesn't matter what blocks are. As long as they are blocks that mobs can spawn on in general, nether fortress mobs can spawn there. But if you're just in the general bounding box but not specific ones, it needs to be nether bricks. So we're just going to use nether bricks everywhere. And then we go back to the central corridor. We do a 2-high wall and then a daylight detector in the middle. So that means when we're stood here, wither skeletons will be able to see us and will start chasing us, but stuff like blazes won't see us, so they will not attack. So as long as people don't jump, they'll be fine. So now I've just got to take this right to the end, in that direction, and then I've got some bits and bobs to make a little killing chamber at the end. So you just walk back and forth. Where the skeletons chase you, you kill them. Should be relatively easy. Hopefully I don't die too much. Let's get on with it. So here it is, nice and simple. You walk along the path where the skeletons will see you and will want to attack you, but won't be able to get to you. And you can see the smoke from blazes, but they can't see you as long as you don't jump. That is the rule for this farm. Do not jump. Now, I've taken this actually the full length of the Nether Fortress. This one's being held up by a zombified piglin by the looks of things. It just... One, it maximizes the number of wither skeletons we could get in here. Obviously, I could do some stuff to spawn-proof the area around here, but quite frankly, I can't be bothered for this farm. I'm going to be building a much more impressive wither skeleton farm way down the line, but this will get us wither skeleton skulls. But also, because it's so long, it means by the time you walk to one end, you've unloaded the other end, so we can get stuff despawning in case we have any issues. And then, yeah, you get to the end, and they all walk up to the top, and you can just kill them. Nice and simple. Did we get any wither skeleton skulls that time? Not on that side, nothing on that side either. I do have 2 that I got from the building and a little bit of testing. And then we've got some lava here, so then any stone swords that we get that we're not going to want, we can just throw those into the lava. So that's the wither skeleton farm. Next, you saw, well, you may have seen back there, I can't actually remember if I've shown this yet. We do have a waystone to this farm because we have waystones to all of the farms, and I want to fix that. Because the problem with waystones is that you have to find them first. So we need to tell everybody where all the farms are so they can go connect to the waystones, and then they can start teleporting between them. We want to stop that system. We want to move over to a share stone system, so once you find one, it connects you to them all automatically. So I'm going to figure out how many waystones we have connected to farms. I'm just going to do the farms for now, and I'm going to replace them all with share stones instead. So I'm just going to get that done while I think about what farm to do next. That looks so much nicer. We've got the red share stones in place. We've got 10 of them. We've got a lot of farms. The top one I put as blast chamber. That's the cobblestone farm because we've got the 2 tree farms going into it. We may have some other stuff going into it. So for now I've just put blast chamber. It's also where we have another waystone so people can head on over to the cobblestone and then from there take the share stone to wherever they're going. And for us, we're going to the dye farm. Wait, I forgot I even had a waystone for this because I haven't built the dye farm yet. So this is going to be a few different farms here. We're going to start off, and this may be the only farm we get done for this episode, but with a flower farm. So I am quickly going to sleep. I don't have a flower farm design. I don't have anything planned, but flower farms theoretically are pretty easy. But it starts off with me preparing the area, so I am going to spend some time taking down all the trees and figuring out what flowers we actually have available. So we can pick the best area, so I'm going to get on with that. Having patches of flowers without the trees looks really, really weird. But now all the trees are gone, I realised that I didn't actually need to get rid of the trees. Because I forgot that the flower map is now 3D. So I need another way to visualize the flowers and figure out the best place to put this farm, because of course we can go up and down as well. So I have another method. Let's have a look. So I am in my server testing world. Whenever I'm on a server, if I've got the seed, I'll have a world where I can test out builds and stuff, see how they work in the environment. And we are in the flower forest, and you can see the big bit on the right hand side is a map of the flowers, which updates as I move up and down everything. So it is my best way of finding a good spot, because realistically you want a fairly even spread, but mostly I want something which covers every flower. And if I go up to around 100, you'll notice this big rectangle. So if you follow the arrow all the way around here, we've got pretty much, well, not pretty much every flower covered. We've got every flower covered that you can get in a flower forest. So I'm going to figure out the coordinates of the corner, and we can start building this on the main server. And I think I'm going to do that with another time lapse, but also in a live stream. So I'm going live in about an hour. I've got all the resources collected. We actually did that in my previous live stream. So I can get on with building this. This is a big farm. This is a really big farm, but shouldn't be too laggy. I'll explain why once it's built. It has been several days since recording that time lapse. In fact, it's been a week. And while I've been doing some other bits during that week, I've had quite a busy week. I've also spent several days AFKing here just to get the farm ready. Because we have our bone meal module over there. I'm not going to fly because I am very low on rockets, and we don't have any farms for rockets. We'll work on that in the next episode. So I've got a bone meal farm over there that's feeding everything. But I realised, with all of the droppers and hoppers that need to be filled before we can even start the farm, it's the equivalent of about 120 chests worth of bone meal to collect. So yeah, we were here a while. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn it on, and nothing is going to happen if everything is working. It sounds weird, but if it's all going correctly, nothing should happen, because the way the system works, everything gets bone mealed, water gets flushed out onto the grass, dropping the flowers down into those channels. They then go into this hopper system down here, which leads to more water channels. We could just have water channels all the way, but there's two reasons behind this. One, that goes into a sorting system, and quite frankly, if I just let everything go through at once, it would easily overload the sorting system, so slowing everything down is going to help. But also, I don't want to be bone mealing the grass and getting flowers all the time, because that's going to be a lot of lag there's going to be a lot of items. So what I have is a system where once the last items have gone through, then it gets the next harvest going. So it waits until it processes everything and then does a harvest. However, if I pop down into here, so you'll see we have our hopper full of bone meal, our dropper full of bone meal, but there isn't going to be any bone meal in the dispenser. So the very first time we turn it on, all it's going to do is put a bit of bone meal in all the dispensers and not actually do anything. But then the second time and every time thereafter, it's actually going to run, in theory. So, if I come up here, you'll see nothing happen. Oh! What? Why are there flowers there? Well, it is now going to run because we have had flowers, so they're going to go through the system. So you can see they all come down to this central point. I imagine it won't take too long because there wasn't that much stuff. Although they're still flowing through. So once that all gets dealt with, it should then just bark a second time and we should see a lot more flowers. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up to the AFK spot. But in the meantime, I thought, let's actually talk about why I've decided to make this a Megasode. Because there's a lot of farmers here, and we're still going to do one more farm. This is not the end. I've got one more farm planned for this episode. And it's simply the fact that things are starting to ramp up. We've got 3 different filming projects ready to go. I want to get started, there we go, on an entrance area, which is going to be a lot of fun to do. I've started designing it, but I want to get it built up. A nice entrance at the spawn point of this world. We've got plans to do Studio Blocks Plays Pathfinder. I want to start building some games in the game area. I know somebody's already started digging out an area for one of the sets for their projects. So the more farms we have, the easier it's going to be to get resources. So that's my job at the moment, is just making lots of farms. So yeah, next we're going to be doing a shulker farm, so we can store things. And then over the next few weeks, the stuff I've got left that's essential to get done is rocket farm, because, you know, we need rockets, so that's going to be a gunpowder farm and a sugarcane farm. I've already got designs for both. And then a wool farm, because, you know, everybody likes using wool. And again, I've got a design for it. That's probably going to be more of a group project, hopefully, because there's a lot of sheep to get into place. So, for now, I am going to wait for all of this stuff to process, and then I'm going to get ready to build a shulker farm. So, as the sun goes down, let's talk about this shulker farm. As you can see, we've got the iron farm and the tree farms, the cobblestone farm over there. We've got the bearded tavern over there. We're going to have the shulker farm there-ish. And it's going to be a big one because, let's be honest, it's me. I don't like small farms. I like farms that cause me a headache. So we're going to have the overworld section of it over here, but then it's also going to contain a nether section. So if I fly over to the cobblestone farm, you'll see why I chose to put it there. Because it does seem like a bit of an odd spot at the moment. But if I come over to the sharestone, over to the gold farm, the nether side of it is going to be just round the back of the gold farm. Out here a little way. I wanted it to be a bit further back so that people could go around the gold farm without being bothered by the shulkers. So hopefully this all works out, and the nether should be a fairly easy build. I'll probably do that first. It does mean, of course, you kind of need to either have 2 people on the server or a camera account on the server to activate everything. Well, let's get it built up. Then I'll explain what's going on, and then we'll have to think about getting a shulker. Well, that's our last farm for today complete, and it is a doozy. This one is such a pain to build. You probably would have noticed during building, I did actually become a blaze a few times just to sort of help me get the upside down buttons, get the end bit done, because there's really no place to put scaffolding. I could have put it on here, but that's kind of it. So we've been using the blaze quite a lot with the aid of this build, because it is such a pain. There's so many disconnected things. But let's have a little look at how this is going to work. I haven't tested this yet. Hopefully all the portals connect. So if we come down to here, the shulker will be down there, and then we've got 20 snow golems in each spot throwing snowballs. Why do we have 20 snow golems? Because the more snow golems we have, the more likely they are to miss. That's the thing. They're going to be hitting, but I also want a lot of misses. Because what's going to happen when they miss, that's because there's a target block in front of them, and they're just hitting the target block. And that is sending a signal out to here. If the shulker dies for any reason, then they will stop firing snowballs. This signal will go down, sending a signal up top, which will send off this minecart. Hopefully there'll be some shulkers here, so you can pick up a shulker and drop one back off. What it also does is send an item through this top portal. Now let's go through one of these bottom ones, because also when a shulker hits itself, which is what it will be doing, the gap is too small for it to hit the snow golems, but it can hit itself. So shulkers will teleport away against the glass, open up into the portals, and hopefully they will arrive. Perfect. Now let's just drop down here, and then we'll fly back up to the top. So they'll arrive in that portal. I don't know if they're going to end up on the ground. Gosh, there's a lot of zombified piglins around here. I'm going to have to deal with that issue. That's a problem. Anyway, so I'll probably need to put some buttons down. I'll do some testing, see if they will teleport to the ground. I don't know if they'll teleport onto bedrock. But they will teleport to hopefully one of two places. Either this glass platform or this glass platform. So this is a lot smaller. It will get full up a lot faster. But then if it needs another shulker, it will be picked up from here and dropped off through those portals, going back to the overworld bit. Otherwise, these minecarts are going to be going back and forth, dropping off the shulkers into this powdered snow, where they will die, and we collect their drops down here. So that is all of the farms built. We're not going to get a shulker in today. The plan is we're going to do that during one of the live streams on Sunday, during the evening live stream. Hopefully we can get another couple people on to help out, because moving shulkers is always good fun. Let's turn back into me. So yeah, 4 big farms, 1 Megasode. This has been some work, but I'm so glad we've got these built up. Much more for us to use now. And if you enjoyed the episode, oh yeah, I forgot, I also did some work on my elytra. So now it's my weird and bearded elytra. Yeah, if you enjoyed the episode, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Weird and Bearded, and I will see you all next time.